You might not know this, but this is take 2, because my entire blurb when I started this video was actually the March report. Then I recorded and looked at it and realised, actually it's May today. May the 4th be with you. So I'm actually talking about April. Well, guess what best just now. I guess that's what happens when you record on a Sunday morning. Anyway, the background's a little bit different today. Not out by the pool. I'm trying out the green screen features of the script. So I'm going to put a different background in there once I finish recording this with a bit of editing. We'll see how that turns out. If you've got suggestions of where I should put myself in different parts of the world, let me know in the comments. It'll be quite funny, I think. So April in 2024 was my biggest month in terms of dollar sales. So it's a lot to live up to. But as I said in previous videos, I'm not really concerned at the moment of dollar sales. I'm not really concerned about trying to beat last year. And I realized when I started this financial year, that was causing a lot of stress. It's really fantastic when I'm up. When I'm not up, I think, oh, what can I do better? And I think about it too much. So it's important to give that balance right, because this is a side hustle for me. It's not a full-time job yet. Hopefully one day it may be, and I can free up some more time from my teaching job. So what has changed over April? April, I picked up 2 more followers on my TPT store. So welcome if you watch my videos and you also start following me there. I also added 20 new products, which is actually the most I've been added in a month in a long time. And the reason for that is I sat down, looked at my data during the school holidays and looked at what products were selling really well and which ones I should produce more of. So at the moment, I picked a product, which is my gallery walk, and so it did rather well, but I only had a limited number of historical history periods, which actually that resource covered. So I'm looking at expanding that repertoire to try and get more repeat business from customers who buy one of my gallery walks and then teaches a different topic. They've got more resources to choose from me when they want to buy it. As I said, April last year was my biggest month and coming in. Now, I didn't expect a lot of this month, mainly because there was spring break in there in the US. There was also Easter during the month, and there was also in Australia school holidays between terms 1 and 2. So there was a lot of days without any school actually occurring, therefore people don't need resources. So let's see how we went for the month. Remember, you can subscribe to my channel. I think I picked up 13 new subscribers this month, which is absolutely brilliant. And if you find this useful, share it with your colleagues that also want a TPT store. Thank you. Let's get in and see where you went this month. So here we are on my dashboard. As we've said at the top here, that's what I mentioned. I got, I think, 6 new reviews, all 5 stars. Thank you very much for those customers. That came about as someone put on TikTok that you can actually get credit for leaving reviews after you bought a product on TPT. The more expensive the product, the more credit you actually get to spend on more products. I think it's fantastic. The person that did that, please do it more. Reviews are fantastic. So I bought my average. I've got 44 reviews now. Like I said, I got 5 reviews and they're all 5-star. Thank you very much for those customers. One was from 3 was from one person who bought some products over the last few months, which is really good to see. And 71 followers. So we picked up 2 followers over the last month. So slowly that's building over time, and hopefully I get some repeat customers out of that. Okay, views. Remember, once again, we're not quite up to the point where we're using Google, the consistent base of where the same data is coming from. So 1161, that's fairly good, down 51%. And it's been pretty consistent all year, so not worried about that. When we get to the new data set where it's been using Google Analytics, then I'll pay more attention to that in terms of views. But they're fairly consistent over the month. I said last year they were up and down, but I said the way they calculated it. So let's look at conversions. Conversions are up 75%. That's absolutely brilliant. So 13% this in 2025 for April, 7.5% for 2024. And I think that's also because I'm producing better quality resources. I've got better previews. I've got better thumbnails and better explanations and better SOE for them to actually find the right products that they wish to buy. So I put that down, and that's fairly consistent. Like I said, a couple of months ago, I started with really low. I think it was January. I was at February. I had really low conversions, like 7-8%, which is very rare. But then by the end of the month, it was back up to that 13-14% again. So conversions are my favorite thing, very high. Once again, I've got to match that with more views trying to get into my store. Now let's have a look at units sold before we look at earnings. So 156, 24%, which is about, 50 less individual products sold compared to April 2024 to April 2025. Like I said, substantially less because we had more, we had some more spikes here. We didn't have Easter, we didn't have spring break in Australia, we didn't have the school holidays. So that was probably 2 weeks combined. School holidays in Australia is 2 weeks. Spring break's about a week or so from what I understand, depending on what state you're in. So that's overlapping 2 weeks, potentially 3 weeks worth of periods where there was no sales whatsoever, as well as Easter in there. So people aren't working through Easter, hopefully. They're enjoying the time off. Don't know if you get the time off in the US. Obviously, we get the time off here in Australia. We get the Friday and the Monday off. That's fantastic. Okay, moment of truth. How did I actually do? Were you right? Do you think I'm up, down, or I'm about the same? I'm actually happy to say I'm virtually exactly the same as what I got last year. Now, for the first half of the month, I was way down. And that sort of changed later in the month. See my sales here on average. If you look at sales, I had periods, no sales, then up and down. Going here, it's like I had a $112 day. I still had a $77 day this year. Must be something happens on the 16th of April. It's a good day. But what made the difference is I had this $284 or $285 US sale day when someone bought a whole lot of my bundles for an entire term's worth of work. Thank you for that particular person. And that really got me back on track to be on. At one point, I was actually above what I did last year at that same point. And it tapers off. So as it improved, and what we see about here is Australian teachers returning back to work. So that sort of picks up the difference in sales between Australia and the US, and it tops up my sales, which is really nice. Where did I get my sales from? If you guess, you can probably guess it's pretty much consistent every month. It comes direct. So that's why you've got to make sure you got really good SEO in your titles and in your first 280 characters to get those hits when people do searches within TPT itself. A little bit from non-TPT, and then obviously getting some interest from my YouTube's Facebook email links coming out of there, which is really nice. A little bit from my webpage, which I haven't done anything in a long time. TPT School Access, sold a few of those products. ChatGPT, that's interesting. That's a new one. And Bing Research, like I said, I'm surprised I ever get anything from Bing. And Complexity AI, that's another new one. That's interesting. Like I said, our social media is getting people onto the page. Whether I get sales or not straight away, I do not know. So I don't put tracking data within that. Like I said, SEO is so important within TPT itself, but we need to work well. So as always, I hope you found that really useful. Any questions you've got, when you're working in your own store, the trick is look at your data, find out which products are selling well and which niche is best for you, and concentrating the best products around that and promoting those. Make sure you work on your SEO. Don't get too concerned about what other stores are doing. You may look for ideas, how they may word things, such as really high-selling products. Look at what they put in their titles and their SEO and see if you can piggyback on top of that. And then just keep plugging away, keep doing the good work. It's a slow process. Like I said, I'm into my 3rd year now, 3rd calendar year, and steadily either maintaining or growing very slowly. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.